Hey, Níix, our tots maui.
Tots maui, Níix máycqi.
Hamish. Your Indian name? Hamish.
Níix máycqi.
Yeah, we was at a little immersion school, first class graduation. We had at least 3 of them that showed up. Little 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. And I think this next bunch was 5 to 6, I think, and that are attending. So I was telling them stories about myself when I was a little kid, riding horses. The very first time I got to ride a horse, and then I fell off. Of course, I fell on my head, and then I was telling another story about when I was trying to show off to my uncle and cousin to stand on a horse's back. And again, the horse shifted his hip, stand a different way, and I flopped and again fell on my head. Seemed like every time that I'd get bucked off or fall off, then the very first time that I rode in the Indian rodeo one time, I got bucked off really hard and fell on my head. It's a wonder I'm still here. Hey, Kellen.
How's it going?
Hey, are you working out of home or are you at your workplace?
I'm at workplace.
Okay, so you're able to join in then?
I'm able to join in. Roughly, how long is your class last?
I go as long as I need to, usually just at least an hour.
Okay.
You know, I don't like to keep anybody too long. And a lot of times I'll leave it open, and I'm waiting on Jonathan so he can jot down, you know, whatever that we talk about. And sometimes I'll leave it open to whoever wants to ask questions, whatever that, you know, that you may want to know and learn. So have you been studying Umatilla language at all?
Yeah, well, back in 2013, I went to several of the classes that Thomas and Damien were holding at Káła.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started out, it was kind of like, I might have made the very first several classes, and then after that it went, it ended, and then I never really picked it back up again after that.
So were they teaching how to write and to do the stresses? And
it was only the I wouldn't know if it's called like the alphabet, but we would go through each of those and then try to give us an idea of how the pronunciations would be. If we were looking into the dictionary, then we would kind of know how to say that word based on the flow of the words. And then it kind of went through a little bit of phrases like what you would normally hear maybe every day, how to greet somebody, and then a little bit of the Wáašat songs, the ones that have words in there. The best they could just translate that, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I get kind of leery of trying to translate language songs, unless I make my own ʷała songs, something like that. But that's totally different. But those original Wáašat songs, I kind of steer clear of that because I don't want to get, I guess maybe the meaning wrong. You know, because it takes time to get to know what some of those words actually mean, because they're, you know, they have specific meanings. Like in one of the songs that we have, tuhanawata, when we say that, and sometimes I would think that I thought they were saying that we're going to all end up being quiet, but here tuhana is a reference of preparing yourself, being prepared. So so the language, those songs and those languages have a reference of preparing yourself. So because when we say to be quiet, then we say true, to be quiet. Okay, Jonathan, go ahead and pull up the tablet, I guess. Hey, Annie, Míšnam.
Níix.
ʷała. Mildred was just telling them little kids to tell me, or her daughter Merle was telling me, say, thank you, tell him, thank you, ʷała. She said it like that, and some of those little kids were calling me Katla. Thank you, Katla. Okay. Jonathan, since we were kind of on that discussion, and Kellen's our first time and wanting to join back up and learning our language, I posted on Facebook this morning, and I want to see what you guys think of this. And what I said was Nattúnwiša, Ičiškíin, nwitki. So one of the dialects that Nattún implies talking. It's another way that we has a reference of talking / speaking. And then when we talk about Ičiškíin, actually ichi implies in this way, or itchy. And so, but when we say Ičiškíin, it's like in this way of talking. And then naami, meaning our.
Test and fulfillment as adults within our culture in our own.
Then nwitki, with the language. Ki implies with. So what I kind of threw all of it together. Fly landed on me. Fly. So what I did was I put all those together. Nattúnwiša, Ičiškíin, naami, nwitki. Because I was listening to I think it's George Nanamkin, and he says that Nattúnwiša. He just says it Nattúnwiša, just Nattúnwiša. But this way of Nattúnwiša, same thing. It has an implication of Nattúnwi. And it's all good to be able to use Nattún, Ičiškíin, or naami, nwitki. And so when you just throw them all together, Nattúnwiša, Ičiškíin, naami, nwitki, talking in this way with our language is really what it all says together. Mish Aliklat Míšnam, is there another way to any other word that you'd be knowing to add into that?
No, that I know of. It's good to me. These are all words that
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I just kind of thought about it, and I said, so I'm going to put that out there to see, is it? I mean, even if we could say it this way, it still makes sense, right?
Mm.
And I think it's important to get acquainted with like a word like with Nattún. When you have that double T like that, it just has that Nattún. And Ičiškíin is when Bruce Rigsby, when he asked Henry Thompson to talk, and he started to talk in Šuyaputɨ in English, and he caught himself, and he goes, "Oh, talk Indian, huh?" And then Bruce Rigsby, Ičiškíin, so he told him to talk in Indian. And it took quite a while to get acquainted with that term, Ičiškíin. So then when we have all these dialects, and like when I think Mr. Naamí he speaks in what they call it Shwanwapam, and when Julia had first shared these recordings with me, it was, oh, I really want to know what Palu sounds like. I want to know what Shwanwapam sounds like. And here, it was a language that we had all grown up around because of listening to the various elders here. Charlie Wakatsi and twice Smitty Jones, they were brother and sister, so they spoke Plus ʷała. And I think Thomas is going to be starting ʷała language, eh? Aliklat muni wiya uite kwana walulapam slaman misinwit.
I don't know. John would know more on that.
Yeah, right now the intention is to start a ʷała language class. We were supposed to start next Tuesday. We had to delay it again because we haven't been able to meet with speakers since we've been working from home. But the intention is still to launch a ʷała language class with Thomas teaching it and with ʷała speakers providing input.
Commish. You see the chat there, Jonathan?
I've been going back and forth with Kellen about previous notes. I see that.
So to be able to, so a person could begin to, like, if you were going to say something, like how our elder speaks, Aunesh Nattúnwiša, Aunesh Nattúnwiša, and then that would imply that I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk now. And then if we were to say it, Ičiškíin ki. Ičiškíin on the next line, Jonathan, or probably just go ahead and go to the next line. Ičiškíin ki. We could probably say Ičiškíin ki Nattúnwiša. You know, with this language, or and then the latter part of nwitki, nwitki. In the Sinwita.
Mish?
In the Sinwita. And with our language, I'm going to talk. So any one of these various ways. So you know, it has an implication. Nattúnwiša. Ičiškíin ki Nattúnwiša. I'm talking with this language. Nwitki in the Sinwita. Because excuse me. You know, as I've been a language learner myself, in listening and reading, you know, our dictionary, and some language words aren't really written down to actually know what some of the thorough meanings are, and some of our elders that spoke, and but for the most part, you know, a lot of it is documented. And I think I was listening to Thomas yesterday when we were doing a little workshop, and a lot of our recordings too that we have in our vault, it seemed like, I don't think that we've had the chance to go listen back to them again to you know, go back and do some transcribing. And as of now, some of my work that I'm doing on a personal, just for my own practice, is listening to that recording of Cleveland Kmiken when him and Billy Curlew, when they're talking about that sweat house, that coyote sweat house up there by Soap Lake. And sometime I want to take a ride up there, so maybe Jonathan and I and some of their language program can just take a ride up there some afternoon when it's cool or whatever, and you know, just check it out. But how Cleveland Kmiken, how he switches from whatever other language that he knows, and then, but he talks in, I believe it's Palouse that he talks, and he says some very profound words, and a lot of it is audible enough to be able to understand. You know, and a lot of our words for was like iwacha. You know, and I get amazed at how all them words come together, like almost like just ichi-ikwak akuk, ichi-ikwak akuk. It's really something, you know, because, you know, sometimes we used to hear some of the language and I'd ask other elders, and, you know, of course, elders sometimes they go, oh, they talk different, and yet it was a very a deep language. Yeah, ikwak ikuk, or ikwak akuk is how it comes out. And again, that I think sometimes we refer to it as Mamachat dialect. so I had to just kind of break all that down to try to like, so like Ichi implying, and then also like today or this, Ikwak. Like Ikwak, I think it has an implication of Chikuk. But so don't quote me on this, Jonathan, on any of this right now. So let me make, I'll come back to that, to some of that, to get a definite, how that needs to be interpreted. But it's just this kind of a language that I listen to. And he talks about that in his Tamnanach, and the Muni Tamnanachen, Koi Chusat, Spilyan Mi, Anish. He just Huyachna. He talked about Spilya when he made that sweat house. So just kind of just rambling on a little bit about some of that. So I want to come back to Kellen, if you're still on with us there, Kellen, to see what other parts of language that you might be willing to want to understand.
I think being able to sort of just speak, if one day I was to run into you, normally we would just say, hi, how are you doing? What are you doing today? And being able to just kind of start from that conversation, or even sitting at a dinner table, how was your day today? And then being able to talk to my kids that way. And ask them what they did, and just kind of, I would just consider it kind of like small talk to begin with, and then I don't know, Jonathan, if he is able to speak the language, what he's learned, and I can see he can type it out, and that's how I was with Hopi language. Was I started to learn how to type it for them, and then I kind of slowly started to understand it a little better. And I don't know if that's important, Jonathan, to being able to type it out to you. Was that helpful as far as learning it? And then if you were to sit and listen to Mildred and Fred speak, or even Thomas and Damien, can you combine those, what you're hearing, and know exactly what they're talking about? Not exact, but kind of hear what they're saying.
I'd say that it's pretty helpful to write the language out and to be able to write it, but I would stress that it's not necessary, say, to learning to speak. I was also going to say, reading and writing are very different skills from speaking and listening. And I would say that I can write what Fred says. I can write and read better than I can listen and speak on the spot. Fred, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, usually, when we just see one another, and a lot of times it wasn't like as if we made any. It was, usually, greet with either a smile or just like, hey, Míšnam. Míšnam. That's just how I come across anybody, or Níix máycqi, Níix páčway, or Níix Klawit. Míšnam, Míša. Míšnam, Míšnam, Míša. How are you and what are you doing? Like, what are you doing now? Míšnam ʷała. You know, just not that you're getting nosy in anybody's life or nothing, but, you know, you just, you know, just typical, you know, Míšnam ʷała. How are you? You know, like even if you were to go into the hospital and visit somebody, you know, like when we were able to really do that, I guess, you know, you know, like Míšnam ʷała, you know, how are you? You know, the tone, it really, you know, Míšnam ʷała, if you go visit somebody, how are you today? And usually everything's begins out in present tense, you know, Míšnam ʷała, Nattúnwiša. And then, you know, and we've worked at trying to create dialogue in with the linguist and as well as Jonathan, and they read it, and sometimes I'll have to go back with them just to try to stress the certain emphasis on, you know, how certain words would sound, you know, and then to be able to answer, like, you know, how I am. Níix, I'm good. Níix. Then if you weren't good, you know, if you weren't good, or Chau Níix, I'm not good today. You know, Chau Níix. You know, if you weren't feeling good, whatever. You know, and
Or tired or sleepy or sore.
yeah.
Sore.
Yeah, if I'm tired, then, you know, Šalawišáaš. I'm tired. You know, so then if you were to say Šalawišáaš, and then of course you'd want to know, you know, what you tired from? Tukinam Šalawiša. What are you tired from? Tukinam Šalawišáaš. What is it that you're tired from? You know, and you know, to even to answer that, you know, to speak up for yourself, and then kni. I'm tired from work. Kni. I'm tired from work. Yeah. So Míšnam ʷała, Míšnam ʷała, Níix, Chau Níix. Šalawišáaš. Tukinam Šalawiša. Kni. Or if you were like, you know, you're tired from, you know, I was running, because I know you guys probably do your workout. So if you're tired from running, Šalawišáaš, Šuyaputɨ. I'm tired from running. Wáašat is running.
Also, Fred, you know, when we go to the longhouse and when we greet the floor, like what is it that is it like, I mean, the mother earth, like how would you say the mother earth?
In that role, I also manage our geo.
What was that?
And then now the last, I guess, 5.5 years ago with the tribe. maternal
I had
ʷała,
to hear it.
and then
Who's that being all loud? The Mother Earth.
Yeah,
Um,
because there's the land that we walk on, and then there's also like the creator. I'm not sure how you, I mean, I've never heard that, or maybe I did and I never knew what it was people were saying.
Alikla mani imain pam namtawanich nika Mother Earth naku naashukosha naku Mother iwa cha naku Earth iwa tiičám.
Well, no, I've really heard about a lot of speakers refer to that Mother Earth is when they're talking about when they're laying someone back in the ground. They say, naami chama, chana, or
Yeah.
chapa. When they're putting someone in the ground, or that's referring to us. Actually, they don't really say the word Mother Earth. They say back to our mother. And that's when, and they say that too. Also, when they're talking about gathering from the Mother Earth. When I say, what was that? Chutney from our mother. And whenever it's talking about the ground itself, that's when it's just tiičám. There was actually I haven't heard a reference to coin the terms Mother Earth. It was just always our mother.
Not tiičámpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tiičámpa is actually just being really literal, from the ground. You're being respectful about it, and you say something that when you say from the chutney from our mother. Those are the terms I've heard growing up. When they're talking about Mother Earth. It was always just referred to Mother Cha. I don't know if anybody else otherwise.
Yeah. And it's communish aikencha naami wianchi nikui sinwicha nikui watachel be wash kna kwal knitpa niku nikushwati sinwicha nikui kushid iwan cha sapaki ki tiičám. He'll say that, or one of our elders that'll speak, he'll say that sapaki ki. I think it kind of has a reference of like a open or cleansed or watered, wet, cleansed, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways that, like I said, when we have a reference of, if we're at a different place, because sometimes I think instead of like saying, like for Mother Earth, there's times that there's a reference of making a reference of outni tiičám, not outni tiičám for more of a sacred.
Yeah.
So if that's helpful, Callan,
Yeah, that's very helpful. And then when when we reference the creator or God, or however that, to me, I say creator, and I know there's some, I'm not sure what the correct phrase of that would be.
Yeah, there's a lot of terms for that. Aniyałáan is one.
Yeah. Aniyałáan.
Naami Pyáp.
Brother.
Mhm.
Manwitla.
Yeah, Nattúnwiša.
Lawgiver. Lawmaker.
Mhm. I've heard the word piety also.
Mish?
Piety.
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 Yeah.
Even just the yaya also happens too. Yaya. Those are terms I've heard in a lot of prayers. Different speakers, when they pray, they use these different words when they're praying to different, how they were raised. Aniyałáan, Naami Pyáp, Nattúnwiša, piety, yaya.
I thought I had seen Aniyałáan somewhere as well as a name. Would that
That
be
falls
one
on
of the
it.
two?
That goes with,
Yeah.
Aniyałáan would be another one. It's just part of Aniyałáan. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of refers to you know, like even like if you were to to ask somebody what they're making, you'd be asking them tundam anisha, what are you making? So that's how that kind of comes out as like something that's being made. So he's the maker. So that's how those are the various terms that we're acquainted with. Leslie. You there, Leslie? How is your guys' reference to God or the creator in this verse?
Well, there's a like a made up term, Aniłáa, and that just means like maker, person that makes something, Aniłáa.
Aniłá,
but
yeah.
Yeah, Aniłáa. Yeah, so you might have heard that one. There's a couple other terms though. Pinnacle, the one up above. Pinnacle.
How do you say that?
And then pinnacle, from above. One, it's kind of like one from above, pinnacle. There's also you guys probably heard Pyáp, like big brother, older relative.
Yeah.
Pyáp, pinnacle, and Aniłáa. I'm out of the office right now, so I'm having a hard time trying to remember. I think there's like one or two more, but I'm like not thinking of them right now.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, that's
Pyáp,
helpful.
ʷała, and dang, I'll send it in the email if I remember the other ones by the time I get back to the office.
Okay. And I think another term, because of, you know, it reminded me of like when we say, you know, I've heard that ʷāmislanmi, you know, high up above where his place is at, I guess you could say. ʷāmislanmi. Yeah. So those are some of the terms, Kellen, that, you know, that you could get yourself acquainted with. Chikwasla nakupam awapatan. How you doing, Renee? Míšnam.
Hold on, Míšnam. I got it. I know the answer. I can't remember it because I wrote it down. Okay. I can't remember it. Oh, never mind. I'm fine. I know I wrote it. Here it is. Níix. I'm good.
Yeah. Níix.
Níix.
Oh, yeah. Kumish. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to sign up for a class at BMCC. It's really a whole big mess, but I was thinking about it, but I was wondering maybe later you could talk about what kind of things you learn at BMCC that's different than this one.
Yeah, we'll be going through working through with Jonathan here, as well as Renee, or not Renee, but excuse me, Gretchen Kern, and revisiting our curriculum that we have situated. So we've got a lot on our plate yet, you know, that we need to go over yet with our Umatilla books and, you know, what we're going to be teaching. Yeah, so a lot of learning how to just pronounce language words, same time as whatever that's written, to learn how to read it and understand it. And like I said before, this is never an original way that we taught the language or learned it, but, you know, we've adapted ourselves to the written system and our dictionary. And and I'm glad that we have linguists that have taken the time over the years to help us document through recordings and then transcribe and all the different, you know, linguistical terms, what have you, but also just using the Šuyaputɨ, tímat, the Whiteman way of writing, so we could preserve and document our language. Yeah. So that's that. Like I said, that is it is all by itself something that we'll be getting to. So are you signing up for it?
Excuse me? What did you say?
Are you signing up for it?
I'm thinking
Registering?
about it. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I just, I'm afraid of all the homework. And also because of COVID, I have no way probably to go to the Longhouse or go to the events that I usually go to hear the language. So it's like I'll be just relying on the books. And I wasn't really sure if that was a good thing or not.
Well, keep giving it a thought, but same time, pray about it, right?
Right.
Okay, good. Annie, Míšnam, Mishmashwatun Ashapnit.
Nifnashwa ku Šalawišáaš. In regards to the tiičám, the ground is lit up. Mainina awancha, the ground is lit up.
Well, Ílaqayx, Ílaqayx, it has a reference of light, Ílaqayx. Ílaqayx with an X, Jonathan. Ílaqayx. Ílaqayx tiičám. Lit up land, lit up earth. And Aliklat Mishiwa Nakushki wa and Šalawišáaš. Šalawišáaš.
Yeah, it'd be like if we it'd be referring to the the foods. Šalawišáaš, naami kwadat tiičámpa. Pupuchni Ílaqayx. Wanapine, should I say?
Yeah.
Puchni. That's how I've heard that. That the food is causing the earth to light up. Šalawišáaš. Tiičám. Naami kwadat. Waikanash ku winat knit manit.
Nakun na awasin with kwal knit ba anashiman patan ha nakun taman when the ayik and naku ʷałá or mishchiwash iwa Ílaqayx chautai nama nakushak inudash iwa hawlak Ílaqayx. And sometimes we'll hear that reference too, or we have to speak in that reference of how the light is like it's invisible to us, but yet it is there. Seemed like we heard here not too long ago somebody was talking about that. I think it was there was a testimony or something about the because in COVID we were all having to stay away from longhouses, gatherings all together, and that somebody had gone to Shalilo and there was nobody in there, but yet they could see that it was lit up and they could hear singing in the Shalilo longhouse. And so I can't remember who was saying that, but there was something about it that it was because of the prayers and the songs that have gone on and the feast and what have you, that there was still that light that just existed there. That was really something to hear that. But yeah, that's the words, Annie. Ílaqayx. Go ahead.
Or you can say Ílaqayx tiičám.
Ílaqayx tiičám.
It'd be like almost saying like the land is shining or glowing. And a lot of these references have a lot of, when you mention that Ílaqayx, I always refer to the belief, our faith, that if you truly believe in the whatever, it actually doesn't really matter if it's Wáašat or not. If you truly believe in whatever it is you pray to, your faith, you'll be able to see that holy light. That's what a lot of them refer to, like the aura. You'll actually see a glow on somebody. You'll see that land lit up. So if you truly believe, it will show itself. That's that faith you have in whatever belief you follow. That's all about faith. That it'll show itself to you if you truly believe, and it'll give you that guidance. And that's why these words are so important. That when we refer back to our creation stories, that everything was created by the word. It wasn't just put together. It's our Creator's spoken word that created everything, the earth, the water, the animals, the land, the grass, the trees, our breath, even us in our stories, in our creation stories. It's all done with the word, the spoken word, and that's what we try to put out there as the importance of the power of the word, what words can do. Yeah.
Kumis chia kwal this anakunan chana chi subsequent chia cook and the ku tamanwan and kushna sinwichan the koslasha and the ku Míšnam pam nampation kicks chiao my kutnawit subsequent na. So again, just appreciating you guys that have appeared on this way of sharing and teaching on this Zoom. So again, Callan, make sure that you leave your email and KCB. Can you introduce yourself a little bit there before we log off?
Hey, I'm Casey. I'm a missing and murdered Indigenous woman. I'm also an enrolled citizen of the Delaware Nation. My full name is Casey Lynn Brown. My father is the late Dwayne Leroy Brown. My mother is Victoria Kosh Anglin. And I'm of the Turtle Clan. We also have a Turkey Clan and a Wolf Clan. Our ancestral homelands are what are modern day Pennsylvania and New York. Our river is the Delaware River. We call it Lenape. Delaware Nation is our English name. Lenape, Lanai Lenape is our name in our language. I feel like CTUIR tribes are my tribe away from my tribe, I guess. I feel very at home. I've worked at Wild Horse, and I've also worked for the tribal government. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, thank you. So probably maybe through our ancestry, probably related because I got Delaware in my family tree. Tom Hill was a Delaware.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask my relatives about.
Yeah, he was real instrumental in helping Chief Joseph and being there during those early times. Came over to warn the Indians about who was coming across to mess with us. Yeah, thank you. Glad you could.
Oh, I should note, since you brought up the ancestors, I'm a 4th generation direct descendant of Black Beaver. He was part of the treaty delegation, and our treaty was the first treaty between a tribal nation and the United States government.
Oh, okay. That's why he came over to talk about it with us.
Probably, yeah. And there's also a connection between Black Beaver and Pio Pio Mox Mox. They were contemporaries and they knew each other. I have pictures of them together. So yeah, lots of connections between our peoples. Because
that name you're saying, Black Beaver, that somewhere either that got interpreted or something, but that's in that Hill family name, but it's translated in this verse. Yeah, so that must have been, they must have known that about him or something to be able to, for himself to have had that name translated to become what people he come from.
Cool.
Tunis. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that Lenape?
Yeah, Lenape. Lenape. Lanai, Lenni, Lanai, Lenape, Lenape.
Oh, Lenape.
Yeah, Lenape is all of us. We're all Lenape, all of our clans. Lanai Lenape is Turtle Clan of the Lenape peoples.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you again next Thursday, if not sooner, and be safe and stay masked. So, tawi shamatash ma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And check.
Eh, imti.